Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers Justin Fields drops 6-word post ahead of Week 7 QB decision. Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin has finally acknowledged that he has a QB decision to make in Week 7 with Russell Wilson fully healthy and ready to go, and it's quite possible that Justin Fields has played his last game as the starting quarterback despite a 4-2 start. With that in mind, and after a frustrating Tuesday afternoon around the Steelers community on October 15, Fields posted publicly on Instagram. And although his message did not give away how he felt about the potential QB change that was reported by NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero a few hours before, Fields addressed his followers, nonetheless. God is good. Great team dub, Fields wrote on Instagram on Tuesday evening, taking a page out of Wilson's playbook. The post also included photos from the Week 6 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Needless to say, this message caught the attention of Fields fans and supporters on social media. QB1, the most well-liked comment read, while another user replied, "You my QB1 regardless." Similarly, a third fan said, "Steeler Nation wants you as QB1. You deserve it." And a fourth jumped to conclusions, asking why Pittsburgh is sitting Fields. While addressing the media on October 15, Tomlin spoke on Fields' contributions as the starter, and he made it clear that turning the offense over to Wilson would not be an indictment on the 25-year-old. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what Justin Fields has done or has not done, Tomlin said. Justin has been an asset to us, man. Last week, for example, his ability to utilize his legs, by design and by ad-lib, was a significant component of that game, the Steelers head coach continued. Fields rushed for 50-plus yards and 2 touchdowns in game. We're appreciative of that. We're appreciative of how he's taking care of the ball. But we're looking at all the people at our disposal the same way we do at any position. In other words, Fields has done well, but Tomlin will not assume that Wilson cannot do more without seeing him run the offense firsthand. Justin Fields has been really good and we've been really good at times, but not to be confused with great, Tomlin noted earlier. This is a competitive league, man. We're trying to position ourselves to be that team, and we got a player, in Wilson, with talent who hadn't had an opportunity to play. So, we're going to potentially explore those things. Per Tomlin, the Steelers will explore this QB conversation throughout the upcoming practices and come to a decision closer to Week 7. Pittsburgh is currently preparing for a Sunday night football matchup with the New York Jets this weekend. The Steelers' offensive line could be one of the key factors in determining which quarterback gives Pittsburgh the better chance to win on Sunday. With injuries all over the place, some have grown concerned that the less mobile Wilson will not be able to perform behind such an inconsistent unit. Although Tomlin was not overly concerned by the impact of his blockers on QB play, he did admit point-blank that Fields is the more mobile option. No, he does not, Tomlin responded after being asked if Wilson has the same mobility as Fields. The veteran HC went on to call Fields' legs an X factor. The Athletic's Mike DeFabua expounded on this point on X after the press conference. Russell Wilson led the NFL in sacks taken twice over the last 5 seasons, DeFabua reminded on October 15, adding, "That's one of the biggest risks in playing him over Fields, especially as Russ comes back from a calf injury." The Jets have 20 sacks on the year, 3rd most and the 5th highest pressure rate, 39.8%. Whether Tomlin wants to state as publicly or not, the offensive line's current ability to protect the quarterback should have some say in who starts on Sunday. The worse they look in practice this week, the more likely it is Fields retains his job for at least one more outing. Pittsburgh Steelers trade for Cooper Kupp in massive proposal. The Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten off to a hot start in 2024, going 4-2 so far this season. Their defense has been the ultimate reason for their success, but the offense seemed to start to find its legs this past week. However, the Steelers would need to add more weapons to their offense if they want to get to the next level, and veteran Cooper Kupp could become available. The star receiver has been injured for the majority of the season but is expected to make a return in Week 7. If the Rams continue to struggle and lose games, he could be on the open market. Kupp has amounted to 7,213 receiving yards and 52 touchdowns in his career and also has a Super Bowl MVP under his belt. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a muddy quarterback situation this year. With Justin Fields playing well, and Russell Wilson now healthy, it's not any clearer entering Week 7. On October 15, it arguably got even muddier. Minutes before Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin took the podium for his weekly Tuesday press conference, NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reported the team plans to give Russell Wilson first-team reps in practice ahead of the October 20 matchup with the New York Jets. Pelissero added that the plan places Wilson in line to make his season debut in Week 7. Pittsburgh is 4-2 with Justin Fields, Pelissero wrote. But Wilson's calf is fully healed and now he gets his shot. However, in his press conference, Tomlin conveyed a different plan. "We're going to determine that as we get closer to tomorrow," Tomlin said to a question on which quarterback will practice with the first-team offense. "We've got some more strategic meetings today. But I'll acknowledge that Wilson proved his health last week, and we're looking hard at it this week. It's up for consideration." Tomlin made no indication whether he's leaning toward starting Wilson or Fields in Week 7. The Steelers head coach also said he will decide closer to game time who will start behind center. Pittsburgh Steelers have new WR trade target emerge after missing on Davante Adams. The New York Jets just made a huge trade to go out and acquire Davante Adams. To no one's surprise, they now have a huge surplus at wide receiver with Adams, Garrett Wilson, and Allen Lazard, and they would like to trade Mike Williams, who they signed to an incentive-laden contract this offseason. Williams signed with the Jets after tearing his ACL with the Los Angeles Chargers last season. A vertical threat with size, Williams fits the deep ball mentality that both Justin Fields and Russell Wilson have, and so he would fit the team's theme across from George Pickens. Williams was scheduled to visit the Steelers before he signed the deal with the Jets back in free agency. He has struggled to get going this year, playing in 6 games and notching 10 receptions for 145 yards. Pittsburgh could likely acquire him for a late-round pick and boost the wide receiver core, though Williams now has a head injury that he is battling that could complicate any thoughts of a trade. The Steelers have more urgency now as both Adams and Amari Cooper have been moved on Monday. If Pittsburgh wants to keep pace in the arms race, they need to find someone that can fill that void. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike Williams? Leave your opinion in the comments.